Kamala Harris wasn't there because she was campaigning today, so she wasn't in the state. She was over in Indianapolis. But was that a good enough excuse in your view?
You know, the national offices of the sorority that she was speaking at in Indianapolis actually is in Washington, D.C. So obviously, if she had wanted to, she could have addressed them from Washington. But more to the point, it was really just a question of setting priorities. Here is Israel, America's primary ally in the Middle East, that's fighting more for its national survival. And she is the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. And yet, in her priorities, it was more important to speak to a sorority than to attend and preside over that speech. So I think that was really the sense.
So if she were to become president, if she wins in November, what are your thoughts, what are your fears about her stance on Israel and Gaza if she were to become the next leader of the US?
Well, I mean, I think that she has played the role of the bad cop to Biden's good cop throughout this war. She was early on making statements that were sort of gaslighting Israel by saying that we better not break international law, when of course we never break international law, and prosecuting our wars, as Prime Minister Netanyahu pointed out at length today in his speech before the joint houses of Congress. And she's called for an immediate ceasefire. She called for us not to enter Rafah. Said that the people had no place to go when Israel was able to evacuate the civilians before we even carried out the operation. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, there were almost no civilian casualties throughout the operations in Rafah. So I thought that it was very important that he made that point or those points, that he set out the truth ahead of his meeting with Vice President Harris, because I think it's very important to clear the tables. Israel has been demonized and criminalized in the United States, in the media, in the Democratic Party, in the universities, and in so many other places, and on the streets since October 7th in a way we've never seen before in the United States. And it's about time that the Prime Minister of Israel came and reminded Americans why Israel is America's most important and steadiest ally in the Middle East, and why it is that if they want to reduce America's footprint in the Middle East, then the best thing they can do is not only support Israel's victory today over Hamas, but stand with a strong Israel permanently, as they have until now. So
would it be your preference that Donald Trump wins this year?
I think the preference of Israel is that the nominee from the party that has been most outspokenly pro-Israel and is capable of seeing the difference between Israel and Hamas terrorists in a very clear and consistent way is the person that Israel would like the best to be president of the United States. And I think that that's in the interest of America as well.
Okay. Caroline, we're out of time. Thank you for your time.